Ms. Parisi, how many visa overstayers are there in the United States?
Sir, as I said earlier, I don't have that statistic with me.
Well, let's use the President's statistics that there are 11 million and 40% of them would be visa overstayers as opposed to border crossers. Do you take exception with what the President said, or can we just use that as kind of a baseline?
I, in all honesty, don't recall what the President said about it, but I'm not sure where those stats are coming from.
So you cannot tell me how many visa overstayers are in the United States.
I don't have that information with me.
Is there a list?
There is an interim draft entry-exit report which has overstayed data in it.
No.
I want,
are there a list of names of visa overstayers?
Oh. So anybody who's overstayed, regardless if it's a visa or a visa waiver program, those individuals have final removal orders, and our Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency receives that list.
So there's a list?
Yeah.
Is that list shared with federally licensed firearms dealers?
I am not sure.
Well, it is actually currently against the law for anyone who is here illegally or unlawfully to possess or purchase a firearm. And I understood in Mr. Good's opening he wants to create a new list of prohibited persons, which just struck me that maybe we ought to find out how good a job we're doing with the current statutes that we have. Do you know how many prosecutions that there were for, say, the last 3 years for folks who tried to purchase a firearm that were not here legally?
No, sir, but I can ask ICE that question.
Well, it wouldn't be ICE. It would be the Department of Justice.
Then I wouldn't have that information because I'm with DHS.
Well, and the good news for us is we do have that information, and it's an incredibly small number of prosecutions, like less than 100. So you can understand some of our skepticism when we hear folks calling for a new category of prohibited persons that cannot purchase or possess firearms when we've done such a dreadful job with the current categories. It is currently unlawful, illegal for people who are not legally in the country to purchase or possess firearms. And my question is, how many of those folks have we prosecuted? And the number's really small. Let me ask you another question about the terrorism list. What process is afforded a U.S. citizen, not someone who's overstayed a visa, not someone who crossed the border without permission, but an American citizen, what process is currently afforded an American citizen before they go on that list?
I'm sorry, there's not a process afforded the citizen prior to getting on the list. There is a process should someone feel they are unduly placed on the list.
Yes, there is. And when I say process, I'm actually using half of the term due process, which is a phrase we find in the Constitution, that you cannot deprive people of certain things without due process. So I understand Mr. Good's idea, which is wait until your right has been taken from you and then you can petition the government to get it back. I understand that that's his idea. My question is, can you name another constitutional right that we have that is chilled until you find out it's chilled and then you have to petition the government to get it back? Is that true with the First Amendment?
Sir, there are strict criteria before.
That's not my question, ma'am. That is not my question. My question is, what process is afforded a United States citizen before that person's constitutional right is infringed? Then he's fine with doing it with the Second Amendment. My question is, how about the First? How about we not let them set up a website or a Google account? How about we not let them join the church until they can petition government to get off the list? How about not get a lawyer? How about the Sixth Amendment? How about you can't get a lawyer until you petition the government to get off the list? Or my favorite, how about the Eighth Amendment? We're going to subject you to cruel and unusual punishment until you petition the government to get off the list. Is there another constitutional right that we treat the same way for American citizens that we do the Second Amendment? Can you think of one? Can you think of one?
I don't have an answer for you, sir.
All right, well, I'm out of time, but I've got a couple other questions, and I'm sure the chairman will indulge me. Do you know whether the female terrorist in California was subjected to an in-person interview before her K visa was issued?
As part of the visa process, yes, that individual was interviewed.
Do you know who interviewed the person?
I do not have that information. That would be a question to ask the State Department.
Do you know how long the interview took place, how long it lasted?
That would also be a question for the State Department. They conducted the interview.
Do you know what investigation, if any, was done into her in terms of education, employment, social media?
Those are all questions that should be referred to the State Department.
Who has her immigration file?
USCIS would have the immigration file.
I thought USCIS was a subset of DHS.
Yes.
And you're with DHS, so why wouldn't I ask you?
So the process would start with CIS for a K-1 visa.
I know, and then it goes to the State Department.
And then it goes to the State Department, which is where all the checks to see if that individual is eligible for the K-1 visa. I'm sorry, I even lost my own train of thought.
No, I know exactly where you're going.
If someone is eligible, sorry, for the K-1
Mr. Rodriguez
visa.
was with us yesterday.
Yes. Then the individual would travel to the United States. Of course, there's vetting done on the individual as they travel, as any individual is. And then within 90 days, they can apply for legal permanent residency, and then that is also when USCIS would get involved and do biographic and biometric checks.
I understand the process, and I'm out of time. I'm just going to make this point before I yield back to the chairman. There's an application process for, we're not even talking about the visa waiver program. We're talking about the process where there actually is a visa issued. There's an investigation, there's an interview, there's another interview, and yet we still got it wrong. And I would think the chairman, one of whom is sitting beside me, and Chairman DeSantis and Ranking Member Lynch, I would think that they would be very interested in her immigration file to find out what questions perhaps weren't asked that should have been, so we can learn lessons after the 14 are dead, and hopefully we can learn before there are 14 more dead. So I would encourage you to ask your boss to make that file available to both the ranking member of the full committee, the chairman of the full committee, the ranking member of the subcommittee, and the chairman of the subcommittee.